That part I've been really pleased with. Hunter-Rasso. And then there's some senior boys that are for next year. They don't live in the same dorm, but they see each other sometimes. In the beginning more. They all went for dinner together and they kind of stuck to each other a little more the first couple days, but then they were off activities in their own living facilities. They're all that much now. My Hunter doesn't have a car there and really does. I'm going home to eat it. So I think Hunter learns from he's told why they have efficiencies. It's different. Almost a determined
I guess we'll go ahead and call our meeting to order and start with the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item of business is the public hearing on the Tipton Pioneer tax abatement. Are there any questions from the public, or would you like to speak first, Jeff?
I can if you like. Jeff Sheridan with the Economic Development Organization, and I'm here about the project. I would let folks know that Pioneer contacted us about tonight's meeting, and they were certainly willing to send representatives, but it's going to require some changes in some of their schedules. And so after conferring with a few folks, I want to explain why they did not have representation here tonight. Certainly it's not an indicator of their interest or the importance of this project. And so I'll be glad to try to answer any questions anyone might have, but certainly as the Executive Director of the Economic Development Organization, and Pioneer's obviously been such an important part of the community for so many years, that we certainly support the approval of the tax abatement in hopes that they'll continue to invest and that this project will come to Tipton.
Questions from the public?
Yes, I have a question. Jeff, have they decided where that project's going to be?
No,
So they haven't finalized the decision.
that is correct.
Thank you.
I might point out they did on our map, the economic revitalization area is the whole property. Some real use here and there, so it's a little hard.
No other comments from the public. I move to close the public hearing.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to close the public hearing. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Can I ask, now that I've got the map in front of me, does the entire map represent what they're considering a revitalization area, or?
If I may answer that.
Okay.
There, on the map, the center, approximately the center third of the map represents the area that's owned by Pioneer, with the exception of the southwest corner, which is where the foundation is located, and then the southeast corner where the moose this area right here is not part of it. So there's a notch out of both southern corners. The rest of it comprises about 116 acres, plus or minus.
Is that this?
On the exhibit A, there are 3 parcel numbers that identify the 3 separate tracts that make up the whole. It's approximately 116 acres.
motion to approve the abatement.
Can I ask one question, Greg, as far as the publication of the notice? Not really
Yes,
publicized.
yes, it was. Marianne's got it, yes.
Okay.
And I also do have the review committee's report that sent it to me today. On February 13th, 2013, at 2 p.m., the County Tax Abatement Review Committee met in the meeting room on the first floor of the courthouse to review the tax abatement application from DuPont Pioneer Tipton. Present were Commissioner Klein, Councilwoman Roach, Planning Commission Director Steve Edson, and Legal Director Jeff Sheridan. In accordance to the County Council Resolution dated 3/17/1987, Section 4, the Review Committee examined the tax abatement application with all supporting documentation, and by a unanimous vote, 3-0, recommends the designation of the ERA and request for a 10-year tax abatement for real property improvements and a 10-year tax abatement for personal property manufacturing equipment. Respectfully submitted, Beth Roach, Tipton County Council.
Well, that being said, I would move to approve resolution number 2012-05.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 2012-05. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg, you'll file with the assessor's office,
Yes.
the intention, okay?
Do you have one first to sign?
Yes.
So we don't forget.
Right. Two copies. Let's start that down through here.
Greg, while we're doing that, we talked about last month, making sure that our signatures, were using our proper names.
I got that from you.
I've signed that as Jay actually, which I don't usually use, but
I had not noticed the signature was not changed. That was a copy I had received.
I don't think legally it makes a significant difference.
No, it doesn't, but I do appreciate it.
You to be consistent.
Yeah.
Okay. The next item of business is additional appropriations from the January meeting.
Kenny, before we go on now, you approved the resolution, we still have to have it on the public hearing, is that right?
No, we had a preliminary the last month, and this is the final.
This is final.
Okay. I'll trust you on that, but I thought there was a 10-day period between the time that it was filed with the assessor's office and basically a remonstrance period.
Well, that's the preliminary. You have 10 days from the preliminary to the monster. So,
Okay.
Jenny, I'd like to make one comment before we get into additional appropriations. Just I want to throw this out for food for thought. Maybe changing the way we do additional appropriations the way we do it now, it could take up to actually 2 months for someone to get extra money, because somebody needs something right after our council meeting, you know, then we have to advertise it at the next council meeting and then approve the next council meeting. What if we would allow the auditor's office to advertise all additional appropriations that comes into his office 10 days prior to the next council meeting? Give us a list of those at that time, so we could talk about them and then be able to approve them at the next council meeting. Speeds process up a little bit. I think it would help some of those that need additional monies quickly. If we don't want to approve them, we can table them to the next council meeting. We have that option. It also gives us the option to speed things up. I wanted to decision this evening because I think Suzanne and Beth need to be involved with that. But I just want to bring that up for food for thought. I thought we could make a decision next meeting.
Let's speed up the process.
Then
And
yes,
everything for 2 meetings, which is,
yeah. And if we don't want to approve them, we can table them and have additional time to think about them too. So it gives us that option. So just one thing about that.
It took 4 months last fall to get enough money appropriated to pay telephone bills. And this process would significantly streamline the ability to pay bills on time and to meet the needs of the departments. And it is not a matter of ordinance or resolution. It's just it's a matter of tradition, local tradition of procedure.
okay. Okay, now we're ready for the additional appropriations for the January meeting.
The list of them, here, this is a copy of what you have is the copy of what was submitted to the paper for publication.
Okay, do you want to go through them one by one? Or there are 6 basically.
I think maybe Brett has some comments on his, maybe.
Yeah. I think it was advertised, if I remember right, 268,000. I think I would rather just do 200,000, because if we go the full 268, it will bring our operating balance down a little lower than what I'm comfortable with. And I've made a few adjustments to what we'd like to do, I believe. I think with this additional appropriation of 200,000 plus our $100,000 that we have budgeted for this year, I believe I'd like to take that money and pay cash for the 2 triaxles that we're getting. And with what money's left over, if we pay cash for that, basically that's enough to buy our brush chipper that we need also. It's within $2,000, being the same amount. So then doing that, then my thought is to go ahead and finance the tandem truck that we have coming. Probably go ahead and just finance the whole amount through Encompass. I found the best interest rate through Encompass instead of doing a lease purchase. Lease purchase is 3.5% a year. Encompass is willing to loan our money to us for 2.02%. And they will work with us. We can either do a monthly payment, or we can do a biannual payment, or we can do an annual payment. So they was willing to do whatever we wanted to do. They were pretty easy to work with. So And plus, I'd like working with them, they're local people, and just really it's not something. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, refresh my memory if you would. I just want to make sure that I understand. You had 100,000 that was budgeted.
Yes.
For truck replacement in the last year. And then you got the vehicle accident that cost you.
That truck actually will cost, I think it's $126,000 to replace.
And part of that was reimbursed by the insurance company? Or will be, or?
Yeah, part of it, yes.
But hadn't been received yet?
Right. I think that's right, isn't it, Greg?
That's correct. It has not been received yet. No. It's 52,000, is that number serves me?
51 counting shipping. Yeah. It's 48 for the truck and 3 for the chipper.
Other questions?
I'm still not clear on why we're appropriating 268,000 if we're just intending to replace one truck at 126,000. All of a sudden, we're replacing 2 trucks.
Yeah, we already had 2 triaxles ordered from last year.
That we're going to be paid out of your $100,000 budget.
Yeah. The actual plan was to lease those trucks, or lease purchase. Well, if we do that with no extra money at all, it will tie us up for 3 years. We won't be able to do anything else at all. At least the rest of this year, you know, that's considering we change our budget for next year. Because the two triaxles, with the trade-in would be $272,990. And the payments on those annually would be just shy of $100,000 a year. So this frees us up if we do it this way. We can pay cash for those trucks, not pay any interest at all on the 2 triaxles, and basically be able to afford to buy the brush chipper with the interest money that we would have spent on the 2 triaxles.
Well, I know it's unfortunate that Beth and Susan aren't here because they had concerns at the last meeting over the fact that we didn't have an approved budget and whether or not this was reasonable to expect that we're going to appropriate another 200,000.
Well,
I understand the need for the replacement truck under the circumstances there, that we could expect that next year or the following year or the following year, whenever that truck would come in the cycle, that money would be recovered.
And I think Greg Brett feels very comfortable that the amount that he shows in his operating fund will come back at 520,000.
Yeah, I think we got it figured about 504,000. So I think we're pretty close. Plus the fact that we're not spending ourselves down to nothing. So we'll still have cushion with this extra money. By a little bit. We're not figuring it down to the penny. Because I don't feel comfortable doing that.
So in other words, you won't be back this year?
I won't promise, but I would hope not to.
I asked Brett to try to prepare maybe a 10-year plan also on his replacement thoughts and how we're going to do that. Try to have some type of continuity instead of replacing 3 in 1 year and none for 3 years. Give some type of schedule, kind of like we asked John to do on the sheriff's cars. The be a little bit easier for us than to, especially at budgeting time, figure out what needs to be done. and some things.
We haven't done anything for a good while.
No.
Yeah, this, to be honest, this is digging us out of a pretty good hole. I understand it's a chunk of money, I do, I know. But it's something that we need to do to get us up. And it won't make us in really, really good shape, but it's a really good start. And I feel real good about the direction that we're headed doing this.
If I remember right, too, the wheel tax didn't come in until after last year, didn't it? Because none of that got spent last year because
Right, yeah.
it wasn't.
We didn't know exactly what we had coming in, so we had to stop a little bit early on chip seal because we didn't want to spend ourselves past our cushion. We didn't know exactly where we was at. So, yeah, that made us a little bit uncomfortable.
Let me ask one other question then. What about the immediacy or the need of your replacing this truck? Does 30 days make a difference? Does 60 days make a difference? Is that?
It doesn't, right now it's not, but come springtime it will. And if we hold up the progress of it, it could make a difference in what we want to do this spring as far as starting in on chip sealing.
What's the lead time for the delivery on your truck?
It takes, it's usually about 60 to 90 days on the cabin chassis and then about 60 days on the bodybuilder to build it. So you're talking about 4 months, 4 to 5 months by the time from the time you order it to the time you get it.
I guess I feel comfortable in going ahead and doing the way it's proposed. I had some conversation this morning. They feel comfortable, the money's there. It's in the operating budget, the extra $20,000. They had $100,000 already appropriated for that. So, I don't think there's question or concern about the total amount of money there. Because I think Jackie felt very comfortable now. She's getting close to having the total amount done. So I don't think there's a good problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we want to do them one at a time?
Yeah, I think I. Mike?
That's fine. Thank you. We have one for $5,000 for treasure.
I would move to approve the additional appropriation of $5,000 to the county treasurer.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the $5,000 additional appropriation from treasurer. Is there any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next one was the sheriff's department. Major budget classification. Other services and charges.
I move to approve the sheriff's department's request for additional appropriation of $1,000.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the sheriff's department additional appropriation of $1,000. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Are you still on public hearing then? The additional appropriations?
I'm not sure we opened it.
That's right.
No, we didn't.
We didn't open it. That's right. Why do you speak up quicker?
Well, I thought you opened it.
We opened
You
it.
went from the highway, you went from the highway to approving the other one.
We opened it and then we closed it on the abate for the bid.
Yeah, you have to close that.
Okay.
I guess I thought you'd go through each appropriation, so that's what they were before you did.
Oh, they're the same ones that were presented last month, but
She opened the public hearing.
we can open a public hearing now on the additional appropriations. Are there questions?
I would have a comment
Okay.
there. To follow up on what Jim had said and was brought up at the last meeting, I would be concerned about additional appropriations without having a budget approved this year, especially this early in the year. I mean, the budget's not a guarantee, is it?
Nothing's guaranteed.
Well, I think it's clear in our discussions with Maximus and Jackie that even though, I'm sorry to admit that we don't have all of those circumstances straightened out, that we have plenty of funds in our general fund.
And, obviously, we have no idea when the state's going to do it. Some budgets have been approved. I'm not sure how, what order they do put those.
Other comments from the public?
Are you going to vote on the highway?
It's coming down, it's coming up on the
Okay,
list.
It was just down a ways.
okay, that's it.
And the $5,000 for Benita was for, anyone remembers part-time help? It was for Suzanne, is that right?
Professional outside services.
I move the public hearing be closed.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to close the public hearing. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried. Should we revote on those two? Okay, do we have a motion to approve the,
I move that we approve the $5,000 to the treasurer.
okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the $5,000 for the treasurer. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Sheriff's Department, $1,000.
I'll make this a motion again.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the additional appropriation for the Sheriff's Department. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried. Next item is information technology. It's supplies, services, and charges, capital outlay. Supplies, $181.21, service charging, services and charges, $55, capital outlay, $2,722. And that was for replacement backup battery, firewall. And $55 is reduced.
I move to approve the first appropriation for information technology.
I just noticed that the sheet we had last month
our comments as built come back after budget approved.
Okay, I want to make sure when I notice the difference there. Okay, so the three item was, it was the three items there. Is our motion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve it for information technology. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Emergency management, $1,500 for supplies.
Make a motion to approve the appropriation, $1,500.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the $1,500 for emergency management. And that's actually just getting its grant money on the Jake Laird Memorial Fund to be appropriated, so it's been. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we're back down to the highway.
I would approve, make a motion to approve $2,000 additional appropriation in the highway department for the purchase and lease of trucks and equipment.
You said 200. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve appropriation for the highway department. Capital outlay of $200,000. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next major budget classification is pre-trial diversion. That's just approving or appropriating, isn't it?
It was her budget.
Some grant
Yeah,
monies and
the
stuff.
budget that was, yes, it was not included in the budget process.
I just want to be sure I was remembering properly.
Yes.
Are there any questions on that?
I would move that we approve the additional appropriation for the Office of the Prosecuting Attorney as presented.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the budget for the 9511 pre-trial diversion as presented, and the total for that fund is $22,330.
Let me ask a question. I think Greg just answered this, but this was money that was budgeted, but somehow was overlooked as the budget was.
It was not advertised, because it was not advertised, it could not be included in the budget submitted.
So it's not, okay, it's not in effect any changes in our budget.
Well, it would add to our budget because the state did not include it in the original budget for this year.
But it's not an increase in their budget.
It's not an increase in their budget, right?
So how do you handle that? The state, you have to submit it?
We have to submit all of these to the state, to the Department of Local Government Finance for their final approval as well.
All right.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. What's that? All the ones from the January meeting. Okay. Frequently appropriation request, county engineer, bridge number 61.
Last year, we had this bridge, all this money appropriated. We didn't build the bridge last year, and so the money went back into Q Bridge. All I'm doing is asking you to reappropriate it for this year so we can build it this summer. And it's the structure just east of Windfall on County Road 400 north. That's it.
Is bid the same as it was last year?
Yeah, we didn't bid it last year.
Didn't bid it last year.
That's why. We
Okay.
had 380,000, I believe, appropriated last year for it. The engineering services have come out of that, and we encumbered that money that was available as far as that contract is concerned. We just needed construction dollars for this year, and since it rolled back in last year, which we didn't use, I'm just asking to reappropriate it for this year.
Questions for Phil? Does everyone know Phil Bear is our? He's got something that's first time. Want everyone to know who he was.
Well, I would move we advertise for additional appropriation requests for the new bridge fund to $350,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to advertise for the appropriations for bridge, additional appropriation for Bridge 61. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Phil.
And then a new bridge.
Okay, I never heard of that creek.
We also have in our packet, Tipton County Community-Based Corrections. An additional appropriation. Do you want to speak on that, or?
I'm here in case you have any questions. We have a letter from me before you asking for $10,000. It's to pay for the therapist for substance abuse counseling at the jail out of the county corrections.
I think the last sentence, the unappropriated cash is available in their funds, that's excess money that.
Right, there's,
that we just transfer it out.
correct.
So we can spend it.
Are there any other questions for Tracy?
This cash, explain the fund, just so that I understand exactly. It says the appropriation, unappropriated cash is available in the fund. What fund?
It's called county corrections. It's state tax dollars that come to serve misdemeanors locally because they are not served by the state.
Okay, so the state has funded this, funded the fund.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And so the money's available in the fund, you just want to have it appropriated for specific use.
Motion?
I make a motion to approve the appropriations of the fund, or of $10,000 to the community corrections fund.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the $10,000.
We got this.
Advertised.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Point out again, maybe, this would be a great deal if we didn't have to come back next month. This is not a big, easier for everybody, so I think that's a good example.
Yeah, especially when it's there. Okay, the one for the county health department. Let's see, we received the amount of $11,288.13 for our emergency grant. I would like these monies to go ahead and approve for appropriation of the following funds per my budget submission in the State Department of Health. $5,992 to emergency director, $183.60 to telephone, $234.08 to travel, $73.45 to supplies, $4,805 to equipment.
Attached to that request is an invoice, which is what we present to the state, and then the third sheet is the quite is showing we've already received $11,288.50. It's already on possible trade.
It's just kind of like Tracy's request.
Exactly, it's just permission to spend it according to the budget that was submitted to the state.
So we need to advertise tonight.
This is advertised, but because it's grant money, it doesn't need the DLGF approval. We submit it to them kind of as an FYI.
We still need to make the.
We need a motion to advertise, yes.
Like to advertise.
Yes, we do.
I would move that we advertise the request.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to advertise for the health department for a total of $11,288.13. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Give me a second.
No.
Thank you, sir.
Is that all of them?
There's one more. I'm sorry. I apologize. That's a copy of the bridge one. As you copies.
Okay, the other item was on the agenda was the resolution amendment to the salary ordinance. We're putting that on hold for now.
Yes, we cannot change the salaries by resolution without the appropriate in advance. We would have to follow a different path. So, change in the salary ordinance.
Okay.
Sheriff's contract.
That's what we have to approve. The sheriff's contract is exactly the same as the past few years, I think. I know it's the same as last year.
So that's his salary, or is that the? And that's set, it looks like it's set by statute, then it's what we can pay, there's, the size of counties and things. I guess the question, why do we approve that now? I mean, is this like for?
This is for this year. The
should have been approved like in December for next year.
Probably should have been. It wasn't presented to the commissioners until last month, and they've signed off on it, and then I'm bringing it now to.
Who presents it?
Sheriff Moses presented it to the commissioners last month.
So if we chose not to fund this, we would have worked a few months for nothing, is that right?
That's probably a technicality, very uncomfortable technicality. Yes.
So we better tell them to get it in early so we can make sure it gets paid. So do you need a motion to approve this contract that was presented, signed by the commissioners? Is that what we need? I would make that motion that we approve the contract with the sheriffs as been signed by the commissioners, presented to us.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the sheriff's contract that was approved by the commissioners. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Items are minutes.
Then I'll make this comment that I made to you in the public meeting here, is that I don't think it's fair to ask Jennifer, Jim, or I to sign these minutes on behalf of the council, because we weren't there.
Right.
And you only have 2 members of the council here that's here, so we would table these until the next meeting, until we have enough to sign.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to table the minutes from the December 3rd meeting that was out of the foundation until more of the members are here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That goes through our list. Are there any comments from the public?
When can we expect the other minutes?
I will have those shortly. I've been working on these from 3 o'clock this morning until 7:30 this morning. I intended to have the December 19th or December 17th or whatever, 17th I think it was, or 18th. I forgot now the date exactly, but working mid-December today, but the events of today kept me from using any of the day toward that goal. But I am diligently working on those. I have 2 sets for the meeting minutes to present to the Board of Commissioners. Be sending those by electronic version to them yet, probably tomorrow. And I'm working on getting those up to date.
Not that I'm getting tired of hearing Bob ask that question. I am getting tired of Bob asking that question. Can we get those done by next meeting? And I would be in favor of taking some of your part-time money and getting those done, if that's what it takes. I think you hire somebody to come in the office for 5 or 6 or 7 hours and get them done, Greg. But I think that's important to get those in here.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, I don't mind spending money to get it done. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. Let's get it done.
It's been pretty hectic lately.
It has been.
And I realize that. So, yeah, if you get somebody to do it, take some of that pressure off you.
Is there other public comment?
Have we had any more discussion on lapel mics or some type of increasing sound?
Well, I think you made a comment, Bill, I believe, that a lapel mic would not work for some of the women's attire. And gonna look at some other options.
Yeah, I've got a quote coming, I haven't gotten it yet, from Sound of Music up in Kokomo for some, a sound system that we can permanently mount, put in proper speakers, put in appropriate microphones, get that room downstairs on the first floor set up for a proper meeting room.
And I would echo Bill's statements there about the room downstairs. So I'm in here quite often, and all I do see is Bill's wheeling around all this equipment to different venues. And so if you have one area that everybody can go to and meet, you could have that permanent sound system, better for everybody concerned. So I don't know what it takes, but somebody needs to think about it, whether it's the commissioners or us.
I'll be bringing that quote to the commissioners and then to you guys.
I think it'd be great for the public too, but it's downstairs, it's handy, and saves people going up and down. Yeah, bigger room. It's gotta be warm.
Phil or Joe, either one, have you guys had any discussions about improvements to that, what is the planning conference room? I know it's been discussed here about potentially making that a more formal meeting space with better communication, better sound system.
Yeah.
One of the biggest issues there is going to be the air conditioning sound, because that was a very noisy heater air conditioner.
Well,
So we'll be coming at you.
in the unprofessional setting. I mean, there's pipes running everywhere, and the air conditioner's hanging out, and it is noisy with that air conditioner. I don't know if that can be buffered with an acoustical ceiling, where that thing could be mounted above the ceiling so that some of that noise could be buffered. You could put acoustical tile.
This has been discussed, we have no facts of what it's going to cost.
It's going to cost. But you are looking into it, and that's something that you would like to see also.
I would say so.
Yes, and with your, you know, with what we heard tonight and your encouragement, I think it'll move forward now.
It'll move faster now.
It's like everything else, you know, it's gonna cost money, but that's fine. It's something we certainly need to do.
We do need to do it, and I've been to 2 council meetings, and in both council meetings, we've had comments from the public regarding communication and the ability of the public to be able to understand and hear our meetings. And personally, I take that seriously. If we're going to make some improvements down there, make some improvements to our communication system here, it might be best served in that area.
Serve, you know, the planning commission, board of zoning appeals, county council. And I assume that, what would you do with this system? That wouldn't go downstairs, right?
I'm sorry?
This system would not go
No,
downstairs.
this would be for small little gatherings, like
So you can
here
still
or
use
over
this
there.
system up here and
Yes.
use this as.
Right. When we have dual meetings going on.
It is a shame when the public can't hear after they make the effort to come.
Well, everybody needs to talk loud too, so.
What'd you say?
Suzanne has such a soft voice.
What'd you say, Madonna?
I have a comment. What about the clock? We talked about in the tower. We talked about that. They getting that fixed.
Commissioner Hunt's taking care of
Okay. Oh, the one
There's,
on the
I'll be glad
side.
to get it fixed as soon as I get some support.
Get some what?
Get some support.
Support?
there's a new controller that could be installed. The cost is approximately $6,000. And that would allow the clock to automatically advance forward in the spring, roll back in the fall. If there were a power shortage, we could reset the clock without having the crew come in and manually reset the clocks. The controller that currently exists is rather worn out, and that's why the one face of the clock does not properly register the
Is that the only one that isn't working?
Yeah, it's the south side that's just out of commission. And so we're looking at about, it's a little over $6,000 to replace the controller and bring it up to snuff.
Phil, what kind of support are you looking for? What kind of support are you looking for?
Second vote.
I think that comment was in.
I make sure everybody knew that, so. Bob, I'm sorry, we interrupted you a couple times.
So would this sound equipment still be used in this room, in the commissioner room? Is that what you just
You
said?
can't hear. Why
Isn't
not?
that what you said, Bill?
Said if we had a smaller venue, if we have a small meeting, then this equipment would be utilized in that area.
So if we had a meeting downstairs
And a meeting,
and up here, this
Right.
is when this system would be used.
correct.
And then this would be used at the commissioner's office?
Unless if they decide to move downstairs to the big conference room, then they would utilize that equipment. It just depends on where they want to, if they want to stay up here, then yes, that would be transported over there and used over there. It just depends.
Bob's got quizzical looks, but that doesn't answer your question.
Well, I thought this was a room we were getting complaints on the sound. So how does that cure this room?
Well,
Is there something wrong with the equipment, or we're not using it right, or
I think it's
it
the
just doesn't work?
I think the microphones don't pick up what they're supposed to, or what they need to.
So the present equipment still won't do this room correctly?
That's my understanding. You need a different type of mic, for, especially Suzanne. she's not
Need
here, so-
more microphones.
So more microphones or something.
And not the perimeter mics that are sitting there. Those aren't suitable for what we're trying to do.
But I think maybe to just interject what Bob's missing is we wouldn't be using this room for other than just personal conferences and things like that. It wouldn't be
Right.
necessarily a large group. Those meetings would be transferred downstairs.
The other one's busier.
We'd like to see the council meetings and such downstairs and have a permanent audio system down there. That way you use it for, like you said, planning commission, DZAs, everything else like that. That's my thought, anyway.
Well, what guarantee would we get the sound system we put down there will do what you want done? Because when we bought this, I thought this was the answer to our problems when they spent their couple $1,000 on this.
I don't know, but I guess that we would make sure that it did work. And, we can have this work if we buy 7 microphones and 2 more speakers. If that's the case, we could do that and make it work. And if that's the way everybody decides they don't want to do anything downstairs, so that we would make this work with additional expenditures.
We used to meet down there all the time, and you could hear better.
You're better. These ceilings are pretty high, so it does create sometimes.
And the draft.
And the draft.
Are there more public comments?
maybe we could push this issue one step further. Bill, could you look into expanding the microphones in here, or is there some reason that?
There's not enough inputs on that particular board right there to accommodate everything that we'd have to.
All right. And there aren't microphones that could be set, tabletop microphones that would be more sensitive?
There are, but I would need more of them, one for each individual.
Okay.
And so
And you still don't have the inputs?
I don't have enough inputs there.
Well, can you buy more inputs?
Any system could be made bigger with the proper amount of money.
So no easy answer, speak up.
That's the easiest one.
Any other comments?
Dennis,
Yes.
I attended the Association of Indiana Counties today. I didn't get there yesterday, but I would like to encourage our council to go to the state council meeting on June the 29th, and it's at Plainfield. Suzanne and I went there one year, but I have attended them before. But one thing that they brought up today was local road and the fund and bridge funding. And I think yesterday they had a session on that, which I would enjoy. But I would like to encourage the council to attend some of these meetings because it's informative, and then you have a meeting with just the council, and they were talking about different problems that we're having in different counties. But I did not mention the wind.
The date again is what?
June 29th, it's on Saturday. It's an all-day meeting, and it's at Plainfield, and they said, you know, you'll be getting information on it. And also, I don't know whether you all have this, but they give this to me today, navigating the Indiana General Assembly website. If anybody wants a copy, or if Greg wants a copy, have you got it?
Well, I did it on the website.
Oh, okay. But anyhow, it was worthwhile.
Good. Thank you for reporting.
Dennis, I do have one thing. On the 27th, a gentleman from Purdue, a professor from Purdue, the name of Larry DeBoer, is putting on a seminar out at the Education Center. It's a collaborative effort between Purdue Education itself. It's on taxes and budgeting for the year 2013. Jim Wolf tells me this guy does great seminars. It's going to be on a webcast. So the county commissioners and the mayor are sponsoring this event. It's from 11 to 1. Lunch will be included, pizza and something to drink. Everybody tells me it's really, really good for particularly elected officials and councils and things like that. So
I would certainly echo that. I've heard Mr. Moore speak. He can come as close to explaining the state budget as anyone I've ever heard. So he's very good.
if you want to, they kind of need a head count. If you'd like, you could either give that number, you know, if you can attend to Greg or Angela Grosnover, both are the mayor's administrative assistant, or he's putting that together.
When is that?
27.
Oh, it's in my back. Oh, okay.
Other comments?
I move we adjourn.
Second. Moving second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?